Hey, today on the mic with Mike, here with the infamous Tex Holiday. Don't be mistaken and think that he's a clown. He's not a clown. He is a barrel man, funny man. Tex, thanks so much for being on here, man. Appreciate you guys and what you do. What's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? Hey, thanks for having me here on the mic with Mike.
Yeah.
Yes.
On the mic with Mike.
Yep.
You know what? Hang on. Something's wrong. Something's missing. Hang on. I know what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's great. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like we're meshing.
That wasn't in the production meeting. I
No,
like it.
it
That's
wasn't.
great.
Yeah.
That's
It's
great.
something that I feel like just makes me a little more equal to you.
Yeah. Well, these spurs that are going to be poking here in a little bit, I don't know about those in the back, so
Well,
you got to watch out for that.
We can work that out. Tex, tell us like what is a barrel man, funny man, and how does that contribute to the world?
Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me, Mike. Yeah. This is great. Yeah, the barrel man, funny man gig, it's basically a rodeo entertainer. So a lot of people just kind of use a general term like a rodeo clown. And there is a distinct difference, though, between like a bullfighter and a barrel man, funny man. And then now people are kind of moving toward the definition or the title of rodeo entertainer. Okay. So a barrel man, funny man basically is somebody who is the last resort for bull riding in case someone gets hung up and the bullfighters, get knocked down or they're not in position and, we have to go to plan B, C, or D.
Yeah.
But mainly just providing entertainment in between events and helping the rodeo move on a little bit, smoother during kind of some of the dead times.
Right. How do you, where do you come up with your skits for entertainment? And like, what are some of your favorite ones you've ever done?
Yeah, that's a great question. The acts that we do, or the skits, those are kind of what separates the business a little bit. And the more elaborate acts that you do, the bigger gigs that you will have an opportunity of maybe performing at. So a lot of those are just driving around on the mower and all of a sudden something pops up,
Let your mind just keep working.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wait, that's a great idea. Yeah.
Exactly. Some of the best thought processes happen on those long drives, in the car or on the lawnmower or when you're not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
So randomly things just kind of pop up for me, or there'll be something I see in the news or it's kind of going on in our nation right now, and then you can kind of play off that as well.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people will take other entertainers' acts and then they'll kind of tweak them and do things along those lines. I really try my best to do everything original as much as possible.
Absolutely. When you say, so there's bullfighters, there's clowns, can you kind of give us the definition or an example of what each of those are? I mean, I kind of understand the bullfighters. Those are kind of the guys that are probably a couple of screws loose and get a little more tied up in there with the action. How does that relate to you? And you said you're kind of the last resort. Do you have to get out of the barrel and wrestle the bull, or how does that work?
Yeah, everyone's kind of different with how the process will work, and that's something that you talk about with the bullfighters prior to the bull riding event. And for me, I'm lucky enough that I work with usually the same bullfighters because
okay.
I work primarily with one rodeo company and a couple others throughout the year. But
okay.
If you are traveling from town to town with different rodeo companies, then it's good to have a meeting with the bullfighters prior to the performance to kind of see how they would like for you to help out, because
right.
the last thing you want to do is get in the way. So when you've got a 2,000-pound animal and you have a cowboy that's hung up on there, you come in with the barrel, you don't want to get in their way.
Right.
But you also want to make sure that you are there to help protect.
Sure.
And that's kind of like if you're in the barrel, and they call it working the can. Yeah. So if you're going to work the can, then you're going to try to get up there in the heat of the moment to help,
right.
Provide a little bit of a distraction.
Some barricade maybe to kind of get around or whatever.
Correct.
I wanted to tell you, Tex, 1992, I think, Mineral Wells, Texas. I rode my first bull. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it riding a bull, honestly, because two bulls before me, one of my best friends rode, and he got stepped on, and they carried him off on a stretcher. So I thought he was dead. Honestly, I didn't know he made it. I was in high school rodeo team, and the guys that were up there helped tie me down. They said, the only way out of here is through that gate. And I was like, okay, buddy, do it. And so they opened the gate, and I jumped off the bull and ran, and the bull ran out of the chute after me. That was the end of my rodeo career, but I do appreciate you guys, even though y'all did not help stop the bull from chasing me when I was in high school. So
Well, and you get different levels of bullfighters too,
Yeah.
and that's the thing is, a lot of rodeos that are, not PRCA, which is kind of the big dog.
Okay.
You got guys who are starting out and they have to start out somewhere.
Yeah.
So a lot of them will go to bullfighting schools. Some will learn just from watching other folks or just kind of take the hard knocks.
Right.
And you can definitely tell the individuals who have had a little bit better training and how they will work the bull and go in and make passes or try to save. Bulls are typically, they can't see within about 2 feet of their face. So it's important to kind of know kind of the science behind the bull and how the brain works and being able to work them around a little bit
Right.
to help keep people safe. But yeah, sometimes it works and then sometimes it doesn't. It's an animal. So
Basically what you're saying is don't try this at home. It's not just jump in the ring with the bull and chase him around. Is this something, so like I know that you can practice like bull riding, if you're a rider, but is this something that you guys kind of work on ever before the actual show?
There's it depends on the show. Like
Okay.
for the Missouri State Fair, I've worked it several times, and we do have production meetings prior
Right,
to that.
right.
And there's a really more strict time constraints on
Right.
getting things done. But a lot of it's just kind of on your own,
Right, right.
and you kind of just learn off the cuff.
Yeah.
It's one of those things you're dealing with, an animal's behavior.
Yeah.
So 2 + 2 is not always going to equal 4.
Sure.
So the more experience you have out there working with the animals, the more comfortable you're going to be, and the more likely you're going to be to take some chances and kind of do your thing.
Yeah. No, is this something like how does one get into this? I mean, that's a pretty crazy. Did you just mow in the lawn one day and you're like, you know what? I think I'm gonna get me a barrel and go out and play with some bulls.
Well, growing up, I always went to rodeos quite a bit, and when the American Royal was thriving back in the 80s, my
Yeah.
grandparents would take my brother and I to the rodeos a lot, and I always had an interest in the rodeo clowns
Right.
and the entertainers. And Leon Coffey, for instance, he'd come to Kansas City, and to me, he's one of the best of all
Yeah.
time. And I always thought that it was funny, and I wish I could have got more of watching him.
Right,
Every
right.
rodeo, you're like, man, I want to see the clown go do his thing.
Yeah.
And back then it was different too, because the actual clowns were not just entertaining, they were also fighting bulls.
Right.
And that's what they would do to fill the time. So, I always thought, man, it'd be a lot of fun to do that.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I ended up being the mascot, at the high school, and AD called me in, I think it was my junior year, and said, hey, you ever thought about doing that in college? And I was like, you know what, yeah, I enjoy it a lot. And I said, but I don't know anything about going and doing it in college. And he said, well, they give scholarships for that. And I was like, are you serious?
mascots?
For mascotting.
No way,
And I
I
was
didn't
like,
know
are
that.
you serious? And he said, yeah. So I started checking into it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I ended up getting a scholarship for mascotting and also for baseball and academics. And adding those 3 together, helped out a lot to help pay for
Absolutely.
your schooling. And then while I was in college, my first 2 years, I also mascotted professionally for the Kansas City Blades hockey team. So I saw they had an opening back in the day when I was a freshman, and I ended up submitting a resume and going for a tryout, which was actually working a game, which was kind of funny. And they hired me on the spot, and I did that, went to the All-Star game, IHL All-Star game down in Orlando.
Yeah.
And kind of took some time off because I was still finishing up school.
Right.
And got back to the area, and this was about, I think it was 07-ish. I think it was 07. I was down in Versailles, Missouri. My mom and I were watching a rodeo down there, and there was an entertainer down there I was watching. And I said to my mom, I said, I think I could probably do that.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think you could too. And I just kind of stored that away in the back of my brain. Well, then we fast forward to 2018, and there at Hill Arena, the McCups Rodeo Company was putting on a rodeo for New Year's Eve, and they had a showcase for Barrel Man, Funny Man.
Right.
And I thought, you know what the heck, I'll go ahead and do that, cross that off my bucket list, because I just wanted to do like one rodeo.
Right, right.
Like just get one rodeo as a clown. I can say I did it. So I went out there, prepared for it. I think I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning preparing
Holy
my
cow.
stuff for that rodeo. I was so excited and nervous, and I couldn't sleep. And went out, performed, and I didn't win the competition, that was okay. But then I got a phone call about a month and a half later, and they said, hey, do you want to come work some rodeos? And I said, sure, what do you got?
Victim of your own success.
Yeah. So, and from there, they put me down in Hepler, Kansas, which
Yeah.
was a small town of about 200 people. And a really great rodeo, large rodeo over the 4th of July every year. And I just had a blast.
Yeah.
And then that led to more rodeos.
I think so. So just to kind of give you an idea, is like we started this whole podcast to help promote the success and the struggles of our young people in our community, because I don't feel like we do enough in our school district or in our community to promote the success of our young people. And I feel like I say it over and over again that's something that's very important for us to do in order to find success for our community to be successful. And so I just want to recap and make sure that I heard you right. You were the mascot in high school and played baseball and were a scholar student, obviously, if you got academic scholarship. And then that got you into college. And all of that experience led you to doing something that was your dream. Now, I can tell you that I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and I remember vividly the same thing of going to the Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo and how it was. And you're right, I didn't think about that before, but the bull riders or the bullfighters and the funny guys, it was the same thing. There was not a guy. And so I say that only to recap, because if they're not paying attention, it's one of those things where that falls right in line with where we're at. I mean, I know that you're not a spring chicken anymore, but the reality is that all of this started in high school, and to find that success and other success that you had in life that allows you to go do this stuff, that is just amazing.
And I think that too, there's that self, you have to kind of initiate some of this yourself, right? And I think that like in Harrisonville, the surrounding community and the schools, I think they do a pretty good job of putting things out there for our students, where we have opportunities in Cass County that other districts and other counties don't have. And it's a matter of sometimes you just kind of have to grab the bull by the horns yourself,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And you have to pursue those things.
Yeah.
And I hear all the time about, when I was in college that like the Harrisonville Schools, for instance, doesn't prepare kids for college.
Yeah.
Well, at what point are you responsible for preparing yourself?
Absolutely.
The teachers, it's not an easy job by any means. They give you the books, they give you the material. At what point does a student have to become responsible and take that ownership?
Yeah.
And I was one of those things that when I was young, my mom gave me some advice. She said, as you're growing up, I want you to try everything to see what you like.
Right.
And I did. And I ended up liking almost everything I tried. And that was kind of the downside of that is, man, I'm pretty busy because I enjoy all of it.
Right.
And that was, doing the mascot gig. I found out that I had a talent in that and was lucky enough to get part of my education paid for. And then do it professionally for some really good stories, and opportunities. And then following up with this is something that I didn't think was going to turn into what it is now. But it was kind of one of those bucket list items that really took off. And, I'm very thankful for the community and the school and the opportunities that I was given and some of that mentorship because, it does. You never want to burn those bridges. And that's what I think sometimes kids, they get kind of stuck in that rut sometimes in high school. But those relationships, they come back and they can help you. Absolutely. And that's where, being friends with everybody is so important.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I agree. And you're right. And the thing is that that's something we talked about in a podcast just a few weeks ago was the impact that your teachers and coaches will have on you in high school. And sometimes you don't even realize that. I mean, they impacted me and I didn't realize it till, years and years and years and years later, after I'd made tons of mistakes myself, it does, and so I think
the support system at home is important as well.
Absolutely,
where you have a family to talk to, or at least close friends. And family means different things to different people, right? Yeah. But having that person to talk to if things aren't going the way you think they should go, and use that as motivation to overcome some obstacles.
Find some. And with my sons, I'm really big on accountability, and I will always be your accountability, but you have to find at a point in your life when you hold yourself accountable, which is the same thing. And I do think that young people struggle with that, sometimes just because they don't know they're young. We're all smarter than our parents when we were 18, and now we're like, oh man, if I had a clue. But I appreciate that you bring that to the table and help promote that in our community for sure, because we do have a lot of great opportunities with that. Tell me what you can about if young people wanted to get into rodeo, how would they do that? Do you have any idea how they could do that?
The biggest thing is in life it's about who you know and timing, right?
Sure.
And if you think, hey, I would like to go and be in rodeo and entertain, then you need to go to a lot of rodeos. And that was, something that I grew up going to rodeos and watching entertainers.
Right.
And then as I got older, because of my educational background, I was able to go and travel and see a lot of rodeos in my spare time too. And being around rodeo has a different culture.
Absolutely.
And, being able to learn that culture. A lot of folks think that, hey, I want to become a rodeo clown or an entertainer, so I'm going to go out there and tell a ton of jokes. And that's not how it works. There's an etiquette to that.
Right.
And there's a timing mechanism, too, that you and the announcer and the event need to be, like, in sync.
Sure.
So it's not just turning on the mic and telling jokes and then
Right.
doing that nonstop. So being able to be around rodeo, learn the etiquette, watch and learn from other people. Rodeo is kind of behind in the times by about 20 years with regard to manners and being helpful. And for the most part, people are very thankful, and they'll come up to me after a performance and say, hey, look, you did a really good job. In other avenues that I've been a part of, you don't see that a lot.
Right, yeah.
And they said, hey, good job tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. And that means a lot. And then there's some people that will be willing to take you under your wing.
Sure.
And that's something, too, that I think is good, is having that person to lean on to kind of help you with the business. The other thing is if you're wanting to get into it, you're not going to come out making, thousands of dollars every night.
Absolutely.
You're going to kind of have to make a name for yourself because no one knows. I lucked out and went through a competition, and that helped me get my name out there. If I had not have done that, then it would just be a matter of meeting people, probably volunteering my time at some youth rodeos, local rodeos. There's some places that can't afford a barrelman, funny man.
Sure.
And say, hey, look, I'll come do that for free.
Right.
But it definitely is an expensive kind of little gig to get into.
Absolutely.
By the time you buy your equipment and your outfits, all that kind of stuff, it adds up. So is it possible? Absolutely. Anything's possible if you put your mind to it and
Sure.
you want to.
Speaking of expensive, I noticed that you have the Family Center Farm and Home on your jersey there,
Yes.
or your get up,
Yeah.
and your costume, maybe your whatever your kit, whatever they want to call it, and I cannot help but wonder. I'm looking across the table, and you have a pack of pouch underwear.
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
explain that.
yeah,
It has a horse's head on it.
We could definitely do that for sure. My friends over at Family Center Farm and Home, they do a phenomenal job. This is my third year working with them,
Yeah.
partnering with them. And I can't say praises enough about Family Center Farm and Home, and not only what they do for Tex Holiday, but what they do for the
community.
surrounding community
Absolutely.
and communities.
Yeah.
I mean, they're looking at like 7 different locations in the Midwest here, and they do so much. But so with Family Center Farm and Home, I'm very proud to wear their logo and their name. And sometimes they give me some goodies.
Yeah.
So Mike, how's your underwear status, for instance?
Well,
Is
I'm
it
not
good?
wearing any right now.
Okay, so then you're at the right
that's
spot.
Well,
then,
no,
okay?
I was
I've
literally
got
looking
something
at
for
those
you.
like, do those
Yeah.
fit? Will those fit me?
You know what? Yeah.
I'm not
so,
sure about the horse's head, but I don't think you're leaving here with those, Tex. I think I'm gonna have to commandeer that from you.
Every once in a while we get some good stuff here. We always get good stuff, but like Shinesty has these underwear, Mike,
Yeah.
and it's not just any underwear. This is right now. You can buy 2 pair and get 1 free at Family Center.
Nice.
That is a great value. Now, this stuff here, I'm telling you, like there's you can feel that, Mike. Feel that. That is nice.
Oh, I like to feel it.
That is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
So
that's nice.
I as a thank you for having me on the show, I've brought you a pair of Shinesty.
Yeah.
It's got the trusty steed there on the front. So there
Yeah.
you go, buddy.
Yeah.
There you go.
I,
Once you wear it, that's all you're going to want to wear.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. The next time I have you on, this is all I will be wearing. This and my cowboy hat. So.
Yeah, that's a visual
Yeah.
there. I'll tell you
So
that.
it's I don't know. You may have got me lost for words here. It's the ball hammock pouch underwear
Yeah.
with
Shinesty.
with the stud.
And it's the
Yeah.
quality, Mike. It's the quality. I mean, when you're walking around in a pair of Shinesty underwear,
Yeah.
you're going to be stepping high.
I'm not sure that you can get this, but I want to make sure that you guys see the supportive pouch that's in there. I'm not sure if we can get that, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah, maybe you
literally
can
a picture of a banana and some oranges.
maybe you could wear that,
Yeah.
for a week or two, and
Yeah.
then you can do a report back on it.
I would like that. If I had time right now, I would just put them on right now for you guys and let you see how they
Yeah,
fit.
I don't think we've got time.
Yeah, I don't think they want.
But
that
I'll tell
time.
you what, though, we hand these out at the rodeos.
Yeah.
Text us,
Really?
and so if you come to like maybe 6 more rodeos, you'll have maybe a set of
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
So then you don't have to go buy any
I
more
don't
underwear.
Yeah, I wouldn't have to wash underwear for an
No.
entire year if I had 7
That's an
pairs.
advantage,
Yeah.
And when you put the underwear on, Mike, maybe you could use a little anti-monkey butt.
Yeah, yeah. There's
Okay,
nothing wrong with that.
it's hot. I'm sure, in your job, you got, we
Yeah.
just know that some chafing can happen occasionally. And all
absolutely.
my friends at Family Center Farm and Home, they carry anti-monkey butt.
Okay.
And this stuff, Tex wears this before every performance.
Absolutely.
Because it keeps me fresh. And I mean, you'll see me just, flying around the arena.
Does it say it has calamari in there? What's that say?
I don't think it's got calamari.
Calamine.
Yeah, there's
my bad.
a slight difference there between calamari.
I like calamari. I've not had that before.
If you're putting calamari in your Shinesties with your anti-monkey butt, we need to have another podcast.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This stuff is good, Mike. Okay. It's good. Okay. And then, when you're out in the sun, why not a little redneck sunscreen?
Absolutely.
And this is not just any, it's Sport 50.
Yeah.
So, these are some of the products that we carry there at Family Center Farm and Home. And you know what? Tex use, they're Tex approved.
Yeah,
They're Tex approved.
Right.
So
does your ball hammock pouch underwear, does it have a steed on it right now? Or
you know what? Yes. Yeah, that's my favorite right now. Yes.
Yeah.
The trusty steed. Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
I love it.
And if you follow Family Center Farm and Home on social media, I did a commercial on this.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So it's out.
Go over that's on all social media.
Oh yeah. You can check out my social media as well. You can check out Family Center. Yeah.
Tex Holiday, Family Center. Get on there. Give them a like. Give them a follow. I guarantee you he'll have some great stuff. That I just want to thank you. You're our first guest that's brought me a gift, and who can't use ball hammock underwear?
Yeah, I don't know who else can either.
Yeah. I could use these.
It's all about people helping people, Mike. That's what it is. About people helping people.
I love you for that. Yeah, I do.
I think your work productivity is going to go up now.
I agree it will.
You sprinkle a little anti-monkey butt inside there, Mike, and...
Well, we've been using the WD-40 on that because the lube, the gel lube, but that looks a lot better.
Yeah, you don't want to use stuff. No, this stuff right here, Mike, will take care of your skin in ways that you had no idea.
Yeah, I appreciate that because it's hell trying to wash that stuff off in the shower. So that
this is good stuff, Mike. I'm telling you, all my friends there at Anti-Monkey Butt, they'll hook you up too.
I love that.
We get shit in bulk if you want to.
I love that. Hey, on that note, we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Yo, dude, this podcast is brought to you by Totally Haircuts. Dude, you know Route 291? Yeah, they're right there, next to the Walmart and where the old GameStop used to be, right next to T-Mobile. And bro, it's crazy. They'll snip you, they'll clip you, they'll fade you, they'll feather you. And you know what else they'll do, bro? They'll mohawk you, they'll faux hawk you. They'll make you look like a chicken, bok bok bagok. They'll take it from looking like this to looking and feeling like this, bro. And if you don't like that, if that's not your style, bro, I'll tell you what, bro. Tell you what, dude. You can go from looking like this.
Not like this.
To this, bro. Bro, look at that. And you definitely won't leave looking like this. Or this. Or this. Check out Totally Haircuts on Route 291, bro. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 7. And then, bro, on Saturday, 9 to 5. Peace, dude.
Hey, over here at Mom the Mic with Michael, I take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. How about 2-3 Construction Services, LLC? Ethan Young, great guy, local guy, does fantastic work. Absolutely fantastic work. I mean, he's one of those guys, he does the work and you go, would you look at that? It is fantastic. Concrete patios, everybody needs a patio to party on, right? It's Saturday night. Let's break out some cold drinks and let's have a little party. Ethan Young is your man for the patio. You need some sidewalks? Somebody needs to get to stepping? Huh? Everybody knows somebody needs to get to stepping, if you know what I mean. You let Ethan Young come put your sidewalks in, they'll be stepping in style. I'll tell you that right now. Driveways, no problem. Ethan Young take care of them driveways for you. You need some let's talk about this. Steel building foundations. Now listen, everybody has that moment where the wife's trying to move in the in-laws, right? Or maybe maybe your husband's trying to move in the in-laws. Maybe move that mother-in-law in that you just don't want to have living under your roof. Let Ethan Young come in with 2-3 Construction and let him put in a steel building foundation to build a new steel building. And then your in-law will be an outlaw. Yeah, how about that? Outlaws. Out of your house laws. You know what I'm saying? That's the best kind of in-laws is the ones that are outlaws out of your house. Skid steer work? Let me tell you right now. Ethan Young can handle a skid steer better than you can handle the skid marks inside of your britches. I'll tell you right now, you want it level, you want a berm, he is the man to take care of that stuff right now. Grading, building pads, you name it. My friends over at 2-3 Construction, Ethan Young, give him a call. 816-533-2119. Appreciate you guys. Hey, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, here with Tex Holiday. Tex, thanks, man. thanks so much for coming on. I love you. You're a great dude. You do so much good. Where can we go and see you perform? Where would that be?
Yeah, first thing you can do is log on to my social media, Mike.
Okay.
At Facebook, Instagram, or even TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah, Tex Holiday. Look me up there. That's right. Yeah, I've been ticking for a few years
There you
now.
go.
So,
I like it.
yeah, if you can, you follow me on there, then I'll kind of have my schedule and I'll make announcements as to where the next one is. But
Okay.
I'll be in Kearney coming up at the end of September, and then we've got the Cass County Sheriff's Auxiliary Rodeo here in Harrisonville, October 3rd and 4th,
Yep.
Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
But yeah, those are 2 local rodeos that I'll be at here
Right,
coming
right.
up here pretty soon.
What? Tell me some of the superstars that we should be up and coming that we should be looking at. You got anybody particular?
Yeah, we do. The cool thing about these rodeos, like the local rodeos, you kind of have different levels. Like the PRCA is kind of like the elite of the elite. And then they kind of go down. And like the rodeos that I work a lot are URA, United Rodeo Association,
Okay.
Missouri Rodeo Cowboys Association. And those are a lot of the rodeos, cowboys, cowgirls they're up and coming. And we have a lot of local talent. I mean, we look at Gavin Draconi here in the Harrisonville area.
Yep.
He's the guy who'll go out there and ride those broncs. Austin Spurgeon.
He got a college scholarship, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Yep, he did. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Austin Spurgeon, he also went and rode over at Fort Scott Community College for a little bit from
Yep.
Adrian. And then we got a big-time name down in Hume, Missouri, Blake Stuke. Blake, if there's anything with 4 legs and a heartbeat, he can ride it for sure.
There you go.
And he'll ride the fur off of it.
Yeah.
I watched him perform down there in Hume last week.
Right.
And the cool thing about him was he had a horse to come out and didn't perform like it was supposed to. He
Yeah.
covered it, and he got the money for it, but he had an option for a re-ride. And when you take the re-ride, you're not guaranteed the money because now you
Right.
start all over.
Sure.
And the crowd started cheering, for a re-ride, and I was kind of antagonizing that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's do it. And sure enough, he took the re-ride, and then he ended up putting even a better score on a horse.
Oh, wow.
And it was awesome for a hometown kid at a rodeo that he grew up probably watching. Yeah, 86 points. Yeah, it was a great ride. But a cowboy like him, he makes things look easy. And that's where, it's not an easy sport.
Sure.
There's a lot of technique that goes into this sport, especially when you're riding broncs. And he's a guy that just makes it look easy.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I would have to say that people will argue what sport is the hardest sport of all, but the reality is that to learn how to do that and ride is one thing. Doing it with the consequences of the results that can happen when it doesn't go right, to stay focused without the panic.
Yeah.
It says a lot about your mental toughness and just strength and overall toughness. So
Well, yeah, you look at Gavin Draconi last year over there in Kansas. I was working a rodeo, and he got hauled off in an ambulance.
yeah,
And,
broke his
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and a lot of those guys, they said they don't want help out of the arena, and
Yeah.
they make it's a goal, or not a goal, but it's like, hey, I'm not walking out,
Sure.
not having someone
Yeah.
else help
Yeah.
me. I'm walking
Yeah.
out of here. And a few weeks ago, Austin Spurgeon, he's on the DL right now because he ended up getting hung up a little bit and stepped on one of the broncs that he
Yeah.
was riding. And he had blood coming out the back of his head, and
Yeah.
was unconscious for a couple
Yep.
seconds.
Yeah.
And it's a rough sport.
Yeah.
Like I said, like you were talking, in addition to the technique of it, you have the athleticism of not only the rider but also the animal, and the knowledge that you're gonna get hurt. It's
Right.
not if, it's when and how
yeah,
bad.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate you entertaining. I appreciate you being there to have those young people's back as they come through this. I did notice after sharing the ball hammock pouch underwear with us.
Yeah.
I noticed you had a few other things.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
know if you had
dude,
anything else.
If you see Tex out there in the beaches of the rodeo arena,
Yeah.
you can holler. And I've got usually, like I said, my friends at Family Center, they hook me up with all kinds of good stuff. I've got T-shirts. I got a
Yeah.
T-shirt for you guys here
Yeah.
today. Tex Holiday. There you go.
Yeah.
T-shirt. Yeah. Who doesn't
Yeah.
want one of those, right?
Yeah. I don't know if that's
60
my size, but if it isn't, I'm going to cut it up into a crop top.
Well, you do what you want to do, buddy. But here you go. There's a T-shirt
I
for you.
appreciate that.
And it says 65 on the back because that's the year that Family Center Farm and Home was, it's the debut of Family Center Farm and Home back in 1965. And we've got a 60-year anniversary coming up. I'll be in a dunk tank September 6th at Harrisonville. So you want to come out and try
Absolutely.
Dunkin' Tex. But here you go, Mike.
Oh,
Your very own. Put it on your
now
refrigerator.
text.
Yeah.
Like, listen, This is a family show.
It is.
Are the pictures
Yes.
in here family
Well,
appropriate?
yeah, I think they are, and
Okay.
you know what? And it's only a 6-month calendar.
Okay,
Because
okay.
not many people can handle 12 months of text. So, but I'll give you a sneak peek here, of one of them here.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at that right there.
Yes.
I was on the moon. On the moon.
Now, did Elon Musk help you with that? Is
no,
he the-
no,
he didn't. You
no.
got that on
Yeah.
your own.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fundraised for
Yeah.
the jet to get me there.
Gotcha.
It took me a little bit.
Yeah.
But you'll see, though, I looked pretty well rested, though.
Yeah.
And we put that family center farm and home. It's right
Yeah.
there. The American flag, I think, is over there, too. But anyway, yeah, so there's lots of different things. It's got all the rodeos that Texas is going to be at this year. So
Looking at that picture, let's see that again.
Yeah.
I did not realize that they could stack, manly man that high. That's a impressive picture.
Well,
Tex.
I am the sexiest clown of the year for the UAR 5
Yeah.
years running.
Yes.
And it's
Yeah.
not easy to get there. I mean,
believe
this
it.
physical physique,
Yep.
there's a lot of time and energy that
Yeah.
goes into that,
You,
Mike.
Mrs. Holiday is a lucky lady.
Yes,
That's for
I
sure.
tell her that all the time. I tell her that all
I'm
the time.
sure you're the only one. I mean, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, Kansas Kate doesn't know how lucky she really
Yeah,
is,
there you
okay?
go.
But yeah, she is. Hey, and there's other. Okay, here we go. Number 2, I'll give you. They're out on the beach, Mike.
Oh,
yeah, on
yeah.
the beach. Okay, that's for August because that's
Yeah.
where we're at right now in
Yeah,
August.
yes.
But I'm not going to reveal the other 4 months. So,
Okay,
and there's
okay.
also some other pictures at the bottom and some little stats that you're just
Yeah.
going to want to.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, put
Yeah.
it on your count.
I will.
your
We're going to
refrigerator.
hang this in the restroom.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. The last one we had, it disappeared. So
well,
we're
let's
going to need another one.
hopefully this one. If it does, I can always get you
Yeah.
another one. I mean, they're hot.
This is obviously after a hard day's work.
Absolutely. Yeah. When you're on the beach,
Yeah.
you just got to kick back.
I'm sure it was-
and enjoy.
I'm sure that it was 10 o'clock in the morning. He was probably already done for his day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But do you see how refreshed I look?
I-
And do you know why?
absolutely.
It's because of
Yeah.
that Shinesty underwear
Right.
and the anti-monkey butt.
Right.
And that beach scene.
Right.
Yeah. Right there, buddy. Redneck
absolutely.
SPF 50.
Absolutely.
I am
And-
not getting burned
yeah,
at all.
Yeah, you look very well rested because
Yeah.
the wrecking balls aren't flying around because
it's-
you have them in their patch.
It's a great deal.
Yeah.
It's a great deal. I'm telling
No,
you.
I do. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I thank you so much. I mean, sincerely, thank you for all
Absolutely.
you're doing, for coming on today. We ask every one of our guests, what is your vision of success, and what is your way of finding success? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a pretty deep question.
Yes,
there. It can
I
mean
know.
a lot to
Yeah.
different people. To me, success is just setting out a goal and achieving that goal.
Right.
So making that accomplishment. I think that we all have to kind of set goals for ourselves,
Right.
and we have to look at not only the end result that we're wanting, but we have to enjoy the process of getting there.
Sure.
So many folks focus on that end goal and they consider that that's success. When really, I think success is, the little goals in that process.
Right.
And we have to kind of set those small goals for ourselves to achieve that big one. So that way that we are enjoying life and we are enjoying the process and we are enjoying leading up to that. So, I think that there's so many people out there that are willing to help others. And that's something that if anyone who's watching this podcast, listening to it, is like, hey, how can I get into this? Yeah, shoot me a message on my social media.
Right.
I'll help you try to achieve that success that you're wanting.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of where I'm at with that. It's just
Yeah.
a matter of achieving those small goals and enjoying the process of doing it.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate that. I think that that's something that we talk about a lot. Just with my own sons is kind of, there's guys that go to a job and they work hard for 20, 30 years and then retire or whatever, and they didn't enjoy anything. It was just a grind, and then we work pretty hard and we work a lot of hours, but the reality is we try to stop and smell the roses, or put on the anti-monkey butt powder if
There you
we
go.
need to, it is a process that you have to find some enjoyment in doing what you're doing, and getting to where you need to go. So thanks so much. If there's anything we can ever do for you, we'd love to help you out. That's about all we got for today. If you want to be on the mic with Mike, message us on our social media. We'll put that up on the screen. We'd love to have you. Let's talk about it. If you have a rant or a rave, or you don't like Tex Holiday. Maybe you don't like him and you want to come on here and tell him about it. Come on down. Get to step yourself right down here and we'll work it out. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, we'll see you soon.